Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. So today is going to be our first roller coaster review on this channel, so that's pretty exciting stuff. We were trying to figure out like what was the best way to do this. Like, is one of us going to do like a voiceover, like while we show footage of the ride? But it seems like for our channel, it makes a lot more sense to just have it in like a discussion format.
Which we've been practicing all week because...
Not even on purpose.
Yeah, we've been talking about this nonstop since we wrote it because, I mean, there's just endless stuff to talk about. It was such an exciting time. It was a really big experience for us, a big experience for the park, and yeah, it was lots of highlights.
So if you want to check out our Cedar Point vlog or our analysis video from a few weeks ago before we got on the ride, links to those videos are in the description below here if you want to check those out first. So yeah, we were lucky enough to ride this on opening day on May 4th, and turns out it was a great time to go.
Yes.
Which we'll get into here in a little bit. So if you don't know, this is a reimagination of the old Top Thrill dragster at Cedar Point. Zamperla came in, added a spike to it, changed the launch system, and turned this thing into quite the behemoth.
Yes.
It is the tallest and fastest triple launch coaster in the world. So here goes Cedar Point breaking records again, as they do.
So this coaster has a length of 3,422 feet. The launch speeds go from 74 to 101 to 120 miles per hour. And this ride is approximately 2 minutes long, too. So it is not a one-trick pony. It is not over like that. There's a lot more to it than what maybe we originally expected.
Yeah, a lot of that time is like coming out of the station and getting ready for the launch. But yeah, no, it's a much longer ride than it used to be. And that 101 mile per hour launch, that's backwards.
Yeah.
That's going backwards.
A very unique sensation.
Yeah, so this thing just dominates the Cedar Point skyline. You can see it from pretty much anywhere in the park, whether it's the spike or the top or both, honestly. Like, it has a presence.
And it's right next to the drop tower, and it's funny to be going up, and up, and then past what used to be the tallest thing in the park.
Yeah, no, it's quite awesome, yeah. So when you're walking up to this ride, getting into the Top Thrill 2 area, the vibes just become very apparent. It was opening day. People were super excited for this ride. There were people there that were there just to watch it, like sitting in the bleachers. Like one guy was like, yeah, I'm just here to watch it. I'm not riding it.
I'm not going on that thing. Yeah.
Yeah, so this thing was just a spectacle that day, and people were loving it.
Yeah, the energy was amazing. The soundtrack is amazing. They have really cool music once you walk into that area. The ground kind of just looks like a racetrack, a finish line almost.
Yeah, like checkered flags like painted into the ground. Yeah, I'm glad they kept the bleachers from the old dragster. Yeah, no, this thing was just great party vibes in the Top Thrill 2 area.
If you weren't excited before, now you definitely are once you walk into the area. So the archway to the line, like the signage, is two big arches that kind of make out like a CP for Cedar Point, but look like a Formula One theme. So I love that. I love this upgrade they gave it. The signage next to it with like the two different racers. It almost gave me like Tron vibes, I guess, but like on a, I don't know, a more Cedar Point scale.
Yeah, the CP racing theme, they did a fantastic job. You know, it's not like Universal or Disney type theming, but, you know, for Cedar Fair, it's just pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah. So this ride, you obviously cannot have any loose articles whatsoever. That's advertised pretty well, I'd say, on the website and on your way up to the park. There are metal detectors, so they ensure you have nothing.
You will get stopped, yeah. And unfortunately, these are paid lockers. I believe it was like $3.
I think so,
like
yeah.
Or like $10 for an all-day.
Which we did, yeah.
All-day locker, so you can move from ride to ride. I don't love that idea, and I think they may be working to get this changed somehow. Maybe like utilize like the Steel Vengeance type lockers where you can bring your phone into the queue at least and hold on to it for most of the queue, and then just right before you get on the ride, put it in the locker, and then you can pick it up right after. Because it's a little unfortunate because on opening day anyway, this had a very long line all day, as you'd imagine, and yeah, just being without your phone for that long is, you know, not the best for some people.
We were in line and we heard, I think, some younger folks say, I haven't had my phone for 4 hours. And
they were losing their minds.
They were losing their minds. And that is a long time to be without your phone. And I'm just thinking about like parents and stuff too. It's hard to not have that communication with your kids for that long.
Exactly, yeah.
Like boredom aside, some people just need to have access to their phone.
Yeah, so hopefully they can fix this in the future.
Yep. And also, if you do force people to put stuff in a locker, we think it should be free. Again, they might be working on that. I think it's tough to force people to pay for something you are making them do.
Yeah, that's essentially an upcharge attraction now, which is, it's the same for a few other roller coasters.
That being said, I totally understand why they do not want you to have any loose articles on this ride just due to the tragic accident of 2021. They are going above and beyond with safety there, and I do appreciate that, and I get it. I mean, there's not really any way around that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think because of that, there is like this weird footwear policy. You can't have any open-toed shoes or flip-flops or anything like that. We saw a bunch of people getting turned away because they were wearing like flip-flops and stuff, which is interesting because a lot of people at Cedar Point are going to be wearing flip-flops because it's on a beach.
I get the rule, but I also get that a lot of people are going to be wearing sandals.
Exactly. Yeah. And especially because on this ride, like your feet are on the floor. So it's a bit odd. I don't see flip-flops coming off or anything like that, but rules are rules, I guess.
Rules, and safety is paramount. So
yeah, so make sure you're wearing like sneakers or something if you plan on riding this, because they will stop you.
They will. Yep. So the outside theming of the ride is really cool and immersive. Once you actually step through that metal detector, it does kind of just become like a big empty hallway with a roof for safety. But we're hoping to see some either like murals on the wall or
some kind of theming in the queue. Yeah, just the cattle pen, just a lot of nothing. Yeah.
And when you're in there for hours, it is kind of like, I'm going crazy. I'm just staring at these white walls all day.
Yeah, give the people something to look at,
exactly.
Least, especially if they don't have their phones with them.
Yep. There's time to change that. So.
And now getting into the station and onto the trains themselves, these trains are fantastic. They're awesome to look at, super sleek, super comfortable. Lap bars only.
Thank goodness. Yeah.
No seatbelts. Yeah. I'd say they had our train checked in like 15 seconds.
Yeah, not having seatbelts really saves time on that.
Those operations, they were crushing it. The only thing holding us up was the train that was on the track before us. Like we could literally, our train was checked in like 15 seconds. We had to wait for the other train to go over the top hat before they can send us out. That was the only thing that was holding us up. These dispatches on opening day they were going. Kudos to the Top Thrill 2 team there. Absolutely. They were absolutely crushing it.
Especially in contrast to the rest of the park, which opening day had some hiccups that really juxtapositioned with this. Like, okay, wow, they put their A team over here for sure.
Yeah, on that day specifically, this ride had almost no downtime. I heard of instances where it might have been down for like 5-10 minutes. And I guess at one point it was down for about a half hour. And not when we were in the area, but considering it was opening day and other rides were having way worse downtime than this.
And the weather was a factor. It almost seemed like everything that could happen happened that day, but they did really great despite that.
It was raining in the morning there, and during that rain, Top Thrill 2 and Millennium Force were the only two roller coasters running. They're two fastest ones. That was interesting. Yeah, it did not go down in the rain one time. Oh, and there is signage out front saying that you're not going to be able to wait for a row or anything like that. But we did ask to wait for the back, and the employee did let us. So that was very nice of them. Yeah, I think it's just like if it's like very busy up there in the station, like don't expect to wait for like the front if it's already got like 7 or 8 groups waiting for it. That kind of deal. Yeah.
And that may change over time, but opening weekend when the lines are hours and hours long, they're just trying to get people out, and they were doing it efficiently.
Yeah, and we decided to go for the back row because we heard it was the most intense ride, and I can certainly see that as we get into this. Okay, so you pull out of the station, get ready for your launch. At this point, they have these cool like F1 themed like lights that are like up on the tower, like counting you down, and I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, everybody can see that all over the park, which is really neat.
So yeah, the first launch, it does have some kick to it initially. Yeah, like pretty punchy actually. It does take quite a bit to get up to its 74 miles per hour. It's not an intense launch like that on like Maverick or Velocicoaster, which both of those go 70 miles per hour, I believe. But they hit that speed in a much shorter amount of track. those are much punchier launches for sure. That being said, I thought I was going to be underwhelmed with this element, this first launch. I was proven wrong. It's not that intense, but when you're on there, it's still a lot of fun, and it kind of acts as like it's like building up the suspense, the anticipation for what you know is about to come.
Exactly. It's just like, that is fast. I'm not going to say that felt slow or anything. It's not as intense as the others, as you said.
And it's probably better in the front where you can feel the wind in your face. We were in the back row, yeah.
But knowing there are 2 more launches even faster than this is like, okay, like you said, anticipation's building.
And so when we start going up the top hat, we were in the back row, so this is probably the worst seat to be in for this part of the ride. We didn't get quite vertical yet. We were still on an angle when we started rolling back. Still a little bit of weightlessness, a little bit of airtime there. I definitely felt it. And then coming back down, like this thing really takes off now. Yes. Oh my God.
Now you see why that 74-mile launch was so purposeful. It was to not careen you over the top hat. It was to give you just enough power and energy to swing back into that 101 mile per hour up to the spike. And that was a crazy feeling. I've never experienced going backwards that fast, I guess.
It's so fast going backwards. I had my hands up in the air and they just got pushed straight down. You're better off probably just keeping your hands down for this part. It's a little awkward, like just getting pushed down like that. But I was having so much fun throughout anyway.
Inertia took over.
Yeah, it's tough to fight that wind. So then, and you're going backwards for such a long time. Like you don't realize how long this track actually is until you're on it. Like it's just like when's the spike coming? When's the spike coming? I know it's up there. It is. Yeah. And when you're going up it, you just get hit with insane positive G forces, and it's just a fantastic feeling. And the station roof just comes into view. You're like, oh my God, how did I not hit my head on that? Like it just seems so close to you. It's unreal.
And that, okay, so yeah, going back into that 101 mile launch backwards too, once you finally like reach the top of the spike and you just see everything almost like bottlenecking, almost like a fisheye view of everything kind of closes into besides everything you're looking down on, and you feel like a giant. And there is this weightlessness at the top of it too, which feels like it goes on for
a long time. Yeah. Watching this ride go up the spike, you don't think you're going to be up there for that long, but when you're actually on it,
slow motion,
it feels like forever. Yeah, like slow motion, like at the top there, like where I thought was the top. I'm like, how are we still going up? How are we still going up?
Whoa. Yeah.
And in the back of the train, like, I'm not sure exactly how high it is, but it's got to be close to like 380 feet. If that spike is 420 feet high, like you're getting pretty far up there towards the top.
And, it almost reaches the top of that spike. I do see some extra space there watching it from the ground, but
yeah, it gets about like 40 feet or so. Yeah, so you're definitely getting like 380-ish for sure. And at the top, like everything just shrinks. Like I look over at Millennium Force, like it looked like tiny. It's like, oh wow, we're much higher than Millennium Forces right now. Power tower over on the right side, it's
like, I didn't know that was small.
And then if you look up straight ahead, you see the top hat, and it's just like, oh my God, like it's like a moment of like clarity, of like zen. Like it's just like that, just like a brilliant moment of weightlessness at the top of that spike.
Before you plummet back down.
Before you plummet back down. And coming back down, now you're aware of the roof on the station that you thought you were going to hit your head on going up. So you're like, oh, I guess I'm not going to hit my head on this. But no, it's a very good head chopper moment. Yeah, like I had my hands up because I know it's safe. But for a lot of people, they might be freaking out there. And then the moment. The moment. Back to 120 miles per hour, the original speed of Dragster. But I'm pretty sure this is going faster than Dragster used to
go. From what we've seen, yep.
So you just fly straight back through that track, 120 miles per hour, and you really, really feel the speed here. There is some kick to that launch for sure. I was a little bit worried that it wouldn't be there because you're already going so fast, but no, it's intense.
Oh, definitely. I would say the first 2 launches prepare you for this slightly more than like a King to Ka situation where it just goes right into it, but that does not take away any of the awesomeness by any means.
Yeah, definitely. It's not as intense as that 0 to 120 mile per hour launch like you'll see on King to Ka and the old Dragster, but it's
because you're already going.
But it's awesome. Absolutely no complaints about that. And I was worried about, since this is a reimagining of the ride, there's new track and old track. The transition from new to old, I was like, is there going to be like a jolt there, like a pothole? I could not tell whatsoever where the old track started and like the new ended. Yeah, it was.
If I didn't know better, I would have thought that this was a brand new roller coaster, like from top to bottom.
Yeah, extremely smooth, especially if you're going 120 miles per hour. Like there is a slight shuffle, but of course there's going to be. You're going 120 miles per hour, and you're feeling that like towards your feet, not so much like in your upper body. So it's totally fine.
I think you almost have to be looking for that too, because I wasn't thinking about that in the moment, and that was not like my priority when I
yeah, no,
was riding this.
it's smooth, and we were in the back row, which is probably the roughest, and it's still very smooth. We were in the blue train. We have heard rumors that the silver train might be a bit rattly, but we can't speak for that because we were on the blue one, which was very, very smooth. So before getting on this ride, I was convinced that the backwards park going up the spike and back down was definitely going to be my favorite part of this ride. I was proven so wrong. Okay, so we're going up the top hat now, and then you hit that turn, which you are now getting ejector airtime on. I kid you not. Like you're going at such fast speeds, that's where the airtime starts, right there going up. And it just gets way crazier from there. So now as you're cresting over the top hat itself, it is just sustained ejector airtime in that back row. You get yanked down that drop. It's insane. Like I had I had my hands up. Like I thought I was just gonna get like launched. Yeah, it was just such a crazy moment. Such good airtime, unbelievable. And I was like, okay, that's the best part of the ride. Proven again
immediately.
Proven wrong again immediately. That spiral going down the drop might be the craziest element on any roller coaster ever. You just get whipped so hard through that spiral, especially if you're in the left seat, which is where I was sitting. I kid you not. Like I had my hands up and they ended up in Kayla's lap. I was like...
Well, for a while I couldn't see anything because Reggie's hands were like this, and I'm like, what's going on? But I was going this way too. But yeah, I think that in the left seat, you just get ejector airtime over to that direction even more forcefully.
So forceful. Like I'm trying to like find other elements on other rides to compare it to. Like the Death Roll on Gwazi comes to mind, the Mosasaurus Roll on Velocicoaster. But this might be even whippier than those elements. Like I thought I was going to get launched into Lake Erie. Yeah. It was just like that, oh my God moment. Like,
it is weird not having like control over your body for a few moments, which this ride does to you multiple times. Like if you have that element, it's rare.
Right, and I'm not the strongest guy in the world, but like I have decent core strength, decent upper body strength. That element turned me into a ragdoll. Yeah. Like I was just completely helpless. Like the ride had complete control over me. Yeah.
The wacky waving arm people.
But yeah, and then like by the time you realize what just happened, you're going through the finish line, just trying to figure out like literally what just happened to me. It's just, oh my God, what an experience.
And I mean, you do have to talk about this ride a lot afterwards. There are a lot of unique elements, and I think they're all very thoughtful too. I think when we first were looking at all the new add-ons, I guess you could say, it's just like, is that necessary? Is this going to make it a better ride? And the answer is yes. This is all very thoughtful.
Yeah, when they were going the process of building this, I was like a little bit disappointed. I was like, oh, maybe they should have put in like an airtime hill, kind of like how like Pantheon has or something. But like now that I've ridden it, this ride is about speed. You go so fast for so long. It just gets better and better and better. Like yeah, the airtime on that top hat into that spiral drop is unfathomable how good it is. It's so good.
It's almost hard to register while it's happening the first time.
Like I'm starting to sweat now just like talking about it.
I remember just trying to talk about it after we got off to do our review, and I'm like, I don't know words right now, so I'm gonna have to come back later when I can actually formulate a sentence.
Yeah, this ride is just such an amazing experience. We cannot compare it to the old dragster because unfortunately we never got to go on it, but we have been on King Ka, which is the most similar ride you're going to find anywhere to it. It's the only other strata coaster in the world that does this.
You can compare it to something, I guess it would be King Ka.
And I'd say this blows King Ka out of the water.
It does. I didn't want to say it too fast, but I mean, I think we said it as soon as we got off the ride anyways. It was like, okay, this has to be better than that. And we ride that a lot too. So I feel like we are pretty experienced when it comes to King Ka. And that ride itself, you can never get used to it. And this is just another example.
The launch on Ka is so intense. And none of the launches on this ride are as that intense, but it just works. It just seamlessly works. And the airtime going over the top hat into the spiral might be more intense than launching the guy. Like, oh my god, that thing just throws your body.
Yeah. I can't think of any other ride that you feel that particular sensation on.
Yeah, it's funny because like the Mosasaurus roll on Velocicoaster are like horizontal, and then the death roll on Gwazi is like at a downward angle, and this is completely straight.
Completely careening towards the earth.
So either you're going faster to this than you are on either of those two elements, and yeah, like you just get absolutely whipped through it. Like you have to experience this.
It's faster than your brain can compute, that's for sure.
If you have the opportunity to go to Cedar Point and ride this, do it. But that you may not be able to do that too soon. So I guess it was a very, very good thing that we went on opening weekend because the ride has been down since Saturday, May 11th. And we found this on Cedar Point's website if you want to go ahead and read that. I'm not good at reading.
The Top Thrill 2 is currently experiencing an extended closure as Zamperla, the ride's manufacturer, completes a mechanical modification to the ride's vehicle. Once the modification is complete, Zamperla, the Cedar Point maintenance and operations teams, and our third-party ride inspection partner will conduct a thorough review before approving both the modification and the reopening of the ride. Though we cannot yet confirm a reopening date, we will provide updates here. We know our guests are excited to experience this incredible roller coaster, and we share your disappointment that we are not able to operate this weekend. We will do everything possible to reopen Top Thrill 2 as soon as we are confident we can deliver the ride experience that our guests deserve.
So yeah, this is not something you want to hear about a brand new ride, that's for sure. Extended closure, that's never good.
No.
Cannot confirm a reopening date. That's not good. I really hope they get this up and running soon. And I tried to find out like more detail what's wrong, but besides they're being very vague about it. So yeah, apparently they're having some kind of mechanical issues with these trains. I'm not sure. I tried to find more information, but couldn't. If any of you guys knows exactly what's happening with this, please let us know.
Very curious.
Yeah, so yeah, I guess it was very lucky that we decided to go on opening weekend and not this weekend.
Yep. We would have found out there that this was happening if it all had played out.
Yeah, we would have because we would have. They didn't have this on the website. I assume on Friday, and I may not have checked anyway. And yes, it would have been a long 7-hour drive to Cedar Point just to find out that it's not open this weekend, which would have been devastating. But yeah, like I'm not entirely sure what's wrong with this. Hope they can definitely get this fixed soon. Yeah, before we were saying like, oh, Zamperla's future is super bright. Everyone, their phones are gonna be ringing off the hook.
Yeah, maybe right now for a different reason.
Yeah, for a not so good reason. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on, but yeah, like I said, hopefully they fix this, and the sooner the better, because this thing is amazing.
Hello, Mr. Zamperla. What's wrong with your roller coaster machine?
That's probably exactly how they call it.
What a lot of the voicemails are, I think. This is looking very much like they're like, it's Zamperla's fault. I feel like they called him out immediately. Zamperla, the ride's manufacturer, if you were unsure.
Yeah, it seems like Cedar Point's definitely blaming Zamperla for this being closed. Hopefully this doesn't turn into a rocky relationship here.
I hope not.
Yeah, I really hope they can get this up and running and super reliable like it was on opening day. Or maybe it was something that just went over the heads of everybody. I'm like, oh my god, I can't believe we were operating it that way.
I hope we don't find that out. Like, oh, we shouldn't have let anybody on this ride.
Well, they won't tell us if that's the case, but yeah.
Or they're just being super preventative. They're trying to be proactive rather than reactive because of the terrible thing that happened a few years ago. I mean, I guess better be overcautious than undercautious.
Right, exactly. And I have seen some videos of this testing and barely making it over the top head as well, which it was not doing at all on opening day. Every train was flying over that top hat like insanely. I'm not sure if they were just launching it slower to test some things out, but that may be a bit concerning.
That is true.
Especially considering that these LSM launches are supposed to be way more reliable than the old hydraulic launch. So
Kenobi was actually up on the dog forums, and they're speculating they're putting dog seats into the trains.
Yeah, they might be adding dog seats onto the train, so then you can ride too.
Yeah,
would you be interested in that? He's like, what is wrong with you guys?
Yeah, he's like, I'd pretty much be terrified the entire time.
No thanks.
Yep. All right. So we'll keep checking that too. See if there's any truth to those rumors. Thank you, Kenobi, for your input.
Dog roller coaster.
Yep, the dog coasters. Right.
So we were trying to figure out like what's the best way to like rank this ride, or like out of 10 or something like that. We're gonna like combine our scores, but I think it's best if we just do it individually, and then because I don't know what she thinks I don't know what you would rank it out of 10. You don't know what I would rank it out of 10. And if we're gonna continue to do these roller coaster reviews, let's make it so like
we're individuals.
Yeah, we're individuals, and let's go beyond like 8.5, 9, because a lot of these coasters are going to have the same scores then, and it's going to be tough to really differentiate them. So you can use like 8.7, 8.8, 8.9. That's all good.
Get into the nitty gritty.
Absolutely. I could only find one marker.
I'll cover my eyes.
So yeah, don't look at my score. I'll write it down.
No cheating.
No cheating. All right.
I'm not. All right, no looking.
I'm not looking.
Okay.
All right, so our ratings on 3, 2, 1.
Oh. I was like, what? All right.
Yeah, no, not like,
I thought you liked this. Like, what are we even doing? Yeah.
My initial thought was to give it an 8.9, but I was like, how do I not give this an A? So, yeah, 8.4. So our scores combined would make it into a 8.7, I guess.
Yeah,
you want to go that way?
Pretty realistic, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I love this. I had a fantastic time. Like I said, I thought every element was thoughtful and purposeful, and the theming is great. I always consider that when I consider my ranking as well.
Definitely. Yep.
I mean, 8.4 is a great score. I'm just saying this isn't maybe a Kayla coaster per se, but I still had a great time, and I cannot wait to get back on it.
Yeah, this thing is just fantastic. The ride experience itself, I have nothing bad to say about it. Yeah. Honestly, the one part I thought that was going to be underwhelming ended up not being at all. And like, I did not expect the end of the ride to be my favorite, and it just absolutely blew me out of the water. Like, the elements just get better and better and better on this ride. Get out to Cedar Point, ride this thing. Hopefully they can get it over.
Hopefully soon. I mean, check the website and then go to Cedar Point. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm curious as to when they can possibly get this back open again.
And one more thing, like about the ratings, I think maybe yours is slightly higher because the left side is just a tad more intense.
It could be the case, yeah. So next time we ride, we'll put
switch.
You in the left, yeah. And we got to try it in different parts of the train anyway. We have only had a back row ride. I want to try it in the front for sure. But well, from what we've been hearing, though, the back seems to be the most intense.
Exactly. And these scores could evolve over time, as I assume they will, but...
Yeah, after re-rides, we may feel differently.
Yep. Front row, who knows? Like, yep. Time will tell. Hopefully.
So yeah, if you guys enjoyed this review and want to see more content like this, I would really appreciate it if you like, subscribe, comment. It's totally free for you guys, and it helps us out so much. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you next time.
Bye.